In a little known city in the north of China that few people around the world have ever heard of, a movement began in 1914 that would be the first spark of what became the May 4th movement.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with us.
No, not that May 4th. And inspire a young Mao to start his writing. That city is Qingdao.
The new one.
Modern-day Qingdao is famous for its beaches, abundance of seafood, industries, and its beer. Today, it serves as a popular tourist destination in the north. Qingdao Beer is China's biggest beer company, officially founded by Germans when Qingdao was their colony from the year 1898. The Germans arrived at Jiayi Beach on the morning of November 14th of 1897. This caused the Qing dynasty to issue what would be their final reform in a last-ditch attempt to save itself through modernization, but it would end up failing. The invasion and the cruelty that followed at the hands of the German colonizers would also cause the Boxing Rebellion, a peasant army started in Shandong, which, although it failed, it showed the power of the peasant class. Now the beach is just one of the many beaches around Qingdao enjoyed by the locals. It's hard to imagine the events that took place here as you stroll along the promenade, enjoying a cool evening breeze. If you head over to the third bathing beach, you can witness the light show of the buildings surrounding the beach reflect down on the wet sand. As locals enjoy a beer with friends, and kids can be heard yelling the local word gala as they hunt for shellfish in the rock formations below. And should you want to capture the moment, photographers are at the ready. Qingdao's architecture serves as a permanent reminder of the city's past under German control during the last breath of the infamous Qing dynasty. When Germany was forced to give up the city in the first year of World War I, 1914, it came as a shock that rather than liberate the city of Qingdao, the Empire of Japan became its new occupant. An occupation that would be upheld with support from the Allied nations during the Paris Peace Conference, where it was agreed in the Versailles Treaty negotiations not to restore China's rule of Qingdao. This decision would trigger the May 4th movement and the rise of communist ideas across China, a student-led movement frustrated with the ROC movement who they felt had sold out the country. The social and political leaders of the following 5 decades emerged from this time, amongst them the man who would be the future chairman Mao, as well as other famous members of the Communist Party. In many ways, you could say that had it not been for the events that happened in Qingdao, Chinese communism might never have begun in the first place. The irony being that had the West not supported Japan's claim to Qingdao, China might very well have looked very different today. Had you seen the city when it was no more than a small fisherman's village in the late 1800s, it would have been hard to imagine that this unassuming town on China's northern shore would become the epicenter of change in the country over the next century. The province Shandong is no stranger to being the birthplace of ideals, being both the place that the Boxing Rebellion started and the province which the world-famous thinker Confucius would call his home. As I was walking on the cobblestone streets of Qingdao, with the lights gleaming above me, I felt a sense of familiarity. For a second, it almost felt like taking a stroll back home in the months leading up to Christmas, even though it was late spring and I'm in China. The look and feel of Qingdao, with its distinctly German influence, just brought me such a sense of home, which I won't lie, made me a little emotional. Even though I look at the colonial period as dark and tragic, it gave me a piece of home away from home, two feelings I admittedly find hard to reconcile with. The atmosphere of the lively streets, with the old church as a backdrop, as people sit outside in the crisp air enjoying a cold beer and cracking jokes. Locals giving the city a sense of warmth and sincerity with their forthcoming personalities and laid-back approach to life. Maybe it's the city, or maybe it's the seashore surrounded by beautiful mountains, but no one can deny that Qingdao is truly something special. I look forward to meeting you again, Qingdao.